Bonjour tout le monde. Hello everyone. So I'm sorry for my hair because because of the lockdown I didn't have time to make an appointment with the coiffeur, which is the hairdresser. So my hair is very messy. So as you can see, I haven't cut my hair for a few months. But anyway, today I would like to talk about my experience or my advice of how to find an internship as a foreigner, as an international student studying in France in general. So my experience was pretty terrible. It was so horrible because I'm currently a master student in a French business school, and according to my degree, so I have to do a compulsory internship. So without this internship, that basically means I couldn't graduate. So you can see that there is a natural pressure on me. But for me, I think I would like to find an internship in France or in Europe in general because I study here. I lived here for about 6 months, and I really like the life here in France and in Europe in general. I travel to Italy, to other countries as well, so I really love it here. So I would like to do my internship here as well. So that brings my topic. So I have to say that I'm not a native English speaker, so there will be mistakes of my oral English, and sometimes I couldn't express my point fluently. So if that's the case, I have to ask you, just to understand. It's my first time doing this talk in English, and I'm a bit of shy. Yeah, I know I don't look shy, but yeah, in fact, I am a bit of shy. So with no further ado, let's get back to this topic. So basically, I mentioned in my study program there will be a compulsory internship, which is a minimum of 3 or 4 months of internship. So uh, uh, the thing that works in France is that if you are a master student, you usually, if you are a master student in the September intake, since how things usually work out is that you go to class, you go to the first semester from September to November. Yeah, I think it's from until the end of November, and then in December, usually you will have your a final exam, and then in January is usually there usually will be a 14 or 3 week holiday. So just for people to go to see their family and etc. And for some French students, they usually take this time to do maybe part-time job or internship. So after you come back from the January holiday, from I think the end of January to the end of March, you will finish your second semester. Yeah, so that's how usually things works. And starting from April, you can do your internship, but there isn't a mandatory starting time. So you can either start your internship in April. I mean, if luckily you find an internship, so you can start in April, or I think the latest you time that you start your internship is in maybe October. So basically, you have 6 months or more than 6 months to find an internship. But for me, I don't think that's the case. I feel this pressure, so I told myself you have to find an internship, even though you were even when you are studying, you are preparing your exam. So my case, I study from 8:20 a.m. to sometimes it's 5:30 p.m. or sometimes it's 9:30 p.m. because I have 8 hours of French class every week. So so when I finish my daytime classes, I just go back home. If I'm not, going out with my friends and everything, I just spend some time every day to look for internship opportunities in France or in Europe in general. So that's how I did it, and I think I spent around maybe 1 month or 2 months. Yeah, I think I was in Germany doing my exchange program, and I arrived back in France in end of January. So basically, I start in the beginning of February, and I got an internship offer at the end of March. Yeah, so I spent basically 2 months looking for internships, and I know it sounds very terrifying, spending 2 months looking for an internship, and most of the time, because due to the fact you are a foreign student, and most of us we don't speak fluent French, and like 99% of the reply we got was rejection letters. Seriously, I mean I did a calculation. I basically apply for jobs at a daily basis, or maybe every 2 days, um, and I'm pretty sure I sent out like maybe 2,000 applications on LinkedIn, on Indeed, on Glassdoor, and other, the French-based job portal. So it has to be more than 2,000 applications. And in from the beginning, I thought that if I apply for larger companies, I will get more chance of getting an internship because, them being an international company or even a global company, they would welcome foreign students or international students who speaks only English. But that's not the case. Even though you are an international student studying in France, but you have to think about that. If you are in a business school, so basically the teaching language is English. So that means your French classmates, they speak French and they speak English, even with a very pretty strong French accent, but they speak the language as well. So if the internship you are applying for requires only English, that means you are basically competing with the students who are maybe in your major, or who are maybe in the same school, but they might want to get into this sector, into this internship. So you are competing with them as well, and in a larger context, you're also competing with all the French students and all the international students in France in general, who speaks good English, so who might have the chance to pass the interviews. And if you think about it, it's the same for students coming from European countries, or even students who are studying in maybe in the US, in the UK, or maybe in other Asian or Latin American countries who want to get into France. So what I want to say is that it's a very, very competitive job to do. So you have to be really, really, really prepared. So in my case, I prepared 2 months. Um, no, I think I yeah. At first, I asked myself, am I doing this too early? Because I basically just started my second semester classes, and then I'm applying for jobs, and I have a part-time job at school. I have basically 8 hours of class on average every day, and I was also applying for jobs. I was also learning French with my free time, and I was also going out maybe 2 or 3 times a week. So I didn't even know how I managed to find the time to do everything. But the things I did, even though I wasn't the number one student from my class, but I felt like my time here in France is well spent. I made friends. I found my internship, and my academic score, they're pretty good as well, and I gained experience as well, and I was paid by the school, so So I think that situation was really good. But we also need to realize that the 6 months period for us to do this internship is usually for French students, who we have this stereotype of being very slow, very easy, very relaxed. But in fact, no. I think for a lot, at least half French students who study in the business school, they are doing the same. So basically, they start to apply for internships maybe after the final exam in the second semester. So, but compared to us, international students, they have the advantage of knowing the culture, knowing the history, knowing how to deal with French people or dealing with European people. And they speak French and English. So in comparison, the advantages we have, it's I think they are pretty rare. I would say that. So we have to be very vigilant. We have to be really prepared. We have to do everything in advance, and don't get offended. But I'm basically telling you to start as early as possible if you have the time, because the other thing that works well in France is that everything takes time. Let's take the internship process for example. So basically in France, I think the French labor law requires a company that they cannot exceed 10% of their total employee to be internship to be interns. That basically means there is a quota for every company. When they are trying to hire interns, that means the French labor law, they I mean their intention is good, but in reality it's not that good for us, for students. So basically that means there is a quota for every company if they want to hire interns, and the French labor law will protect our interest. The labor law, being this, is I think they just want to make sure the company who will hire us won't make us like a full-time employee. They won't abuse us. Our interests are being protected, etc., etc. But the point is, there is a number limit. So if you think of this as a number game, as a you know, if you go into the number game, how many students are there in France, and how many students are required to do this internship? So how do we find our competitive advantages? So that's the truth. And so basically there is a number limit, and the other thing is there is a time limit. So based on my research and based on my friends' information, so if the company they previously hired an intern, so for example, this intern is a marketing intern, and this intern left this position maybe in January, and usually the company cannot hire another marketing intern until, let me think about, until March. Yeah. So things works this way. So basically, if you sign a internship contract for 6 months, and there was a previous guy who was doing the marketing intern for 6 months, so usually the French labor law would require the next marketing intern has to wait one third of the total time of service, which is one third of 6 months is usually 2 months. So that means the company has to hire the same internship position 2 months after the first intern left. So that's another thing we need to think about. So everything takes time as well in France, and if you are applying for larger companies, that means there will be more interview rounds. There will be more time spent to do the preparation, to complete the assessment, etc., etc. Which I mean the assessment is very very stupid, and it's very difficult. They try to assess your your intelligence, and they try to ask you to write something to simulate a situation where you will be required of doing on a daily basis. But I don't think that will that will actually show your skills and your knowledge. But we have to do it because they're a big company, they have a lot of applicants. So I guess the assessment is to basically to let go some applicant. I think that's the main purpose. um, and if we think about the number game, if we think about the time, it's also our, I think the next thing I want to talk about is your attitude. So for me, the 2 months of applying for internship, it was very very difficult because I don't know about you, but I feel like me myself, I'm someone who is very independent, who is very very strong, who I would like to fight for the things I want to do. So I would say that I have I have the ability to deal with bad news. But I mentioned I applied for more than 2,000 jobs, and there was only about 1% of reply, and the rest, I mean, they were kind enough to give you reply, but it's basically a rejection letter from their machine or from their HR system. So if you are dealing with no reply at all, or if you are dealing with rejection letters, I would seriously recommend you to just take a deep breath and tell yourself, it's okay, it's a process. Everyone is going to experience. Everyone is going to have this kind of experience. It's not just you. It's not that you are not good enough or something like that. So I want you to know, and that's also my personal experience as well. Um, I think this year it was particularly difficult because in January or maybe in December there was the COVID crisis. So basically everything was shut down, for the business, and that resulted in the slowdown or reduction of the company's hiring. So I literally experienced the reduction in numbers of the internship hirings in France and in Europe. So I got other maybe 5 to 10% of reply. I mean, I applied for some big French company like L'Oreal, Sanofi, and everything. So at first I thought, things were going great because they reply me, and they, I know it's from a machine, or maybe it's just an auto it's just an auto reply or something. But it made me happy. It gave me hope. But then with the lockdown, they sent me an email saying that with the situation, everything is very very unpredictable. Everything is not clear. So they have decided to cancel basically all the internships. So what should I do? I mean, if we go back to the number I talked about, there was less job I can apply to. So I was really really depressed for about 2 weeks, and I have to prepare for my final exams. So you can only imagine the level of stress I was experiencing. Like seriously. And um, the good thing is that I didn't give up. So later I asked the career services at my school. I also have some very good French friends, or maybe just classmates you go along very well. So I just asked them, hey, could you help me? Could you give me some advice? Where I should look for jobs. So at first I was just applying for from LinkedIn, from Glassdoor, and from Indeed. These three are, I think, among the biggest job sites around the world. So I tried that, and then they said, "Oh yeah, you should definitely try those three websites." But there are also some other French websites that you can use, such as Welcome to the Jungle. So I think Welcome to the Jungle is It's a job portal if you are applying for internships, if you are applying for full-time jobs, and if you're just applying for temporary jobs or like a contract jobs, you can just go there and see if there is something interesting for you. But the problem with Welcome to the Jungle is that it is highly focused to help startups to recruit people. So that means if you go there, the majority of the jobs will be coming from those technology or maybe healthcare startups. So I mean, there are jobs and you can apply to, but I will get to the point for next chapter about your chance of staying in a company with a written offer, so you don't have to experience the same job searching process anymore. And they also told me, I think it's my school, the career service told me that we use a lot of the service from hired from, I forgot about the yeah, from job teasers. Yeah, so it's basically hired and job teasers. These two websites, uh, they are amazing if you're just looking for an internship for big companies. I think job teaser and hired, there are a lot of internship opportunities from those kind of big, large international or global companies. And the company, they have their reputation, they have their operations for years, so there's nothing you need to worry about. So I think I mentioned 5 job sites: LinkedIn, Glassdoor, Indeed, Hired, and the Job Teaser. So I think those five sites you definitely should check out and register and apply and apply and apply, etc. When it comes to the like some technical advice, because I know very well that my strength is that I had some experience. So when it comes to the job I want to apply for, the internship I want to apply for, I can just tell them I'm a student, I'm a master student, and I had some experience. So like hard skill wise, I am the perfect guy for you. So I can just go on the job. I can just do the job with minimum trainings because I basically I have all the skills required or most of the skills required to do this internship. There's no problem for me at all. Um, but the other thing I need to think about is that me being a foreigner, being an international student, it's basically the language. So I mean, even though I tried a lot of my efforts studying French, but learning a language it really takes a long time. So not speaking this language, basically French, not speaking French fluently will be one of the toughest barrier is there for me to apply for an internship or maybe for a full-time job. So I know that the language will be considered and it will be understood by the HR if they see my resume. So my strategy was I just go on those 5 sites and I basically created a email alert. So in my email alert, I always search for English speaking jobs, like English speaking internships. Like if the job requires French or German or Dutch or Italian or Spanish, like I don't speak those kind of European languages. So if they require those kind of languages, I just I won't apply. Because it's just a waste of my time, and there won't be any reply at all. Or if there's a reply, it will be just rejections, rejections, and rejections. So what's the point? So I focused my strategy to English only internship. So I basically just put English and and I also highlighted. I also chose the job function that I would like to apply for. So maybe if you are someone who is doing marketing, you can just try marketing, or maybe public relation, or maybe just advertising. You can just choose those industry, or you can just choose those function, etc. So if you set those things up, and you created a newsletter or maybe an email alert, the I think the website will automatically send you emails whenever there is job internship that matches your criteria. So that will actually save your time, like a lot of times. But still, some French companies or maybe some other companies, they don't play by the rules, because the whole JD is in French, but they managed to change anglais into English. So if they do that, their job will also show up in your newsletter. For those kind of information, I mean, I don't have a solution to solve that, but I guess if you have seen that, just ignore it, because if the JD itself is written in French, that basically means they are looking to hire some French students who speaks English. They are not going to. I mean, they're not likely to hire you. I think that's the truth. So just don't waste your time on those kind of jobs. Um, Sorry about that. I'm just very very thirsty. I have been talking a lot, and um, the next thing I want to talk about is referral. I know that for some students, we basically know nothing about referral, but I have to mention, I used referral. I used my alumni network a lot to when I was trying to apply for jobs. But I mean, in my case, it didn't work, but I still tried, because I thought with the situation it being so difficult, I need all the help I can get. So if there is alumni resources available for me, so why not reach out, and I can ask for advice, ask for career advice, and maybe in the end I can just talk to as much people as possible who graduated from the same program like I did, and just ask them, hey, I'm looking for an internship, or I'm looking for a full-time job, in basically at the end of the conversation, not just directly, because that sounds very rude. And it actually worked. In my case, at first I didn't know how to do the internship application well, so I basically wrote in my alumni uh, group. Yeah, I think we have groups, saying that, hey, I'm an international student studying in school, and I'm currently looking for a internship, maybe in Paris, maybe in Lyon, maybe in Marseille, or maybe in Toulouse, in those kind of big cities in France. So I would really, really like your opinion, your advice on where I would find the best jobs, and how should I position myself, and is there anything that I need to be aware of when I was applying for the jobs. And I actually got a lot of replies from my alumni, because I think even though they are French, I think in this case a lot of French people will reply you, because they are the ones from your alumni network who stayed in France. Most people like us, we ended up in our own country. So sorry, that's the truth. So a lot of the French alumni, they replied to me, and we managed to talk over the phone, or maybe we did our Zoom meeting, and they actually answered my question very nicely, and they gave me a lot of advice. Even though they, I think for themselves, they are also struggling with the same problem we did. That is, to hold on to their current job, not getting laid off by by their company because of the personnel reduction and everything. So my point is, if you can talk to your alumni and get their feedback, get their advice, it will be really, really helpful for your internship search. So that is the topic I would like to share for today, and I hope what I shared was useful to you. And I know that with this situation, it's going to be very difficult to find an internship. And for me, I finished my internship, so now I have to find something permanent. So either it's a CDE or CDI. So voila, I have to go through the process all over again. So um, I hope that by the end of May next year, I will get my dream CDD or CDE. So wish me good luck. And if you have any questions regarding how to find an internship in France or maybe in Europe, you can just like my video, and you can just leave your comment. And if I think I can help, I can reply you in a private message. Okay, I don't know if YouTube can do that, but I can reply you, and we should do a Zoom meeting or maybe a WhatsApp meeting, and I'm more than happy to share my experience and maybe to give you some advice that I had. So thank you everyone, ciao. And if you like my video, don't don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I will share more information in the following days. Thank you. Bye.